Hey crafty people, it's Tasha. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here or you haven't already, I'd love it if you could hit that subscribe button and the bell below, and that way you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. It would mean the world to me. Today we are going to be playing with some of the beautiful Fab Foils. I'm going to go through some different ways that you can use them, some tips and tricks, how to get the best results, and yeah, we're just going to make some beautiful things. So the first way that you can use this Fab Foil is transferring it onto printed images. So there's a couple of things, and basically it has to be laser printed and not inkjet. It won't adhere to inkjet. It does have to be laser. And I always fold a piece of scrap, like printer paper, in half to be my carrier sheet. Place your image down that you want to foil with the image side up, and then put your foil on top with the pretty side up so that the back of the foil is touching the printed design that you want to foil. Then all you need to do is run it through your laminator. I do leave my laminator on to heat up. You want it really good and hot to get the best result, and I run my items through twice normally. I've got some quite detailed foiling videos on my own channel as well, because I do absolutely adore this foil. It's just amazing. I love the results that you can get with it. So pretty. So I have printed off just a pile of different things that I want to foil today. I've got some full backgrounds, I've got some words, I've got some really teeny sentiments, some very bold and thick images, just to show you that you really can foil any image, and I've never had an issue. I really personally love the gold and silver foil. I also have the blush, which is like a pale pink, and that can look so beautiful as well. And then here is the teal, and this is the first time that I've tried the teal, and spoiler alert, it is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I'm just running quite a few of them through because I wanted to show you the different things that I foil, really, and that it really can be anything. So when I got a slimline card that had Christmas, Xmas written across it. So when I was putting that through, any long ones like that, I folded my printer paper the other way so that it was still going to fit, the slimline panel was still going to fit inside that carrier sheet, because I don't think that the heated elements inside would do too well touching straight onto the foil. So there we are, there's that Christmas one. I love the reveal, they're amazing. Here's the blush on some beautiful like floral background. That's from Angie Blum, I believe. The Xmas was a background pattern that I changed into Xmas myself. And then here we have some beautiful snowflakes in the teal. I just love it. And then you get the negative as well. I never chuck them away. So the next type of foiling that we're going to do is with the bonding powder. Now, I haven't actually used that before, so this is my first time. So you're going to see I make a few mistakes because it was my first time, but I wanted to keep all those in so that we can show you how to best go about using the products. So the bonding powder works similar to a standard embossing powder. So here I've got a large background stamp from Hero Arts. I'm putting the Wow Ultra Slow Drying ink on there, put my card panel on top, and then rub it all over to make sure I get a good transfer of the image, and then tip the bonding powder over the top, just the way that you would a normal embossing powder. It is actually really fine, like really fine, and you melt it just the same as you would your embossing powder. I did struggle at first to see when it was melted, which was difficult. Basically what you want to do is you melt it, and whilst it's still warm, you put your foil on top, and you really want to rub that in, burnish it in. So here's the first that I'm doing. I didn't put it on all of the pattern for it straight away. Set the foil, you can set the powder and then go back in and reheat it to then apply your foil. So that's what I did here. See, when I take the foil back, I have got some transfer, but not a huge amount. You are going to get a more distressed look using this bonding powder than you would the printed images, but you can get a better result than what I did that first time. So that's why I carried on. So I just reheated the powder again, including where I'd already got some foil adhered. Just be careful that you don't put it too close and heat for too long. Yeah, you don't want to burn that foil that you've already got on there. And you really do need to burnish it really well. I was pressing quite hard with that. Yeah, here I am pressing on much harder, and letting it dry, letting it cool a little bit before I pull back. So you can see I get a much better transfer there. I keep going until I have a distressed but beautiful pattern to work with. It just so happens that this month challenge over at the Wow Facebook group is to do with foil. So I'd love it if you could, maybe you could make something and enter it into the challenge. That would be amazing. We'd all love that. So I will see you over there. I'll be entering some of my own projects as inspiration, and there's lots more beautiful inspiration from the design team as well. So next I grabbed out the Freestyle rollerball tool and the mixed media brush, because I want to see what sort of things we can do with those, what patterns. So grabbed a card panel, and these are all just A2 card panels that I have ready cut. Grabbed the rollerball and just swiped it from side to side, crisscross all the way down. Wasn't too careful about where I put it, wanted it to be quite random and distressed. Poured the bonding powder over the top, and you can you might be able to just catch what sort of a pattern we have going there. Then I grabbed a sheet of like a really deep red cardstock that I had in my stash, and the mixed media brush, and I just brushed some of the ink on. I wanted just a really messy, distressed sort of edge, so I got that with the brush, and then I did just go over to cover the whole of the base of that area with the rollerball, because it's sort of how I wanted it to go. Put the powder on. It's much easier to see the powder on the darker cardstock, so you can see that there. Here I am heating the rollerball crisscrossy pattern that we have, and then here we have the dark red. Obviously that is a lot easier to see, and I whacked some foil straight on it, really burnished it down, and I did get quite a nice transfer, but I wanted more, so I just kept reheating and adding more foil. I used up a load of my offcuts and things that I had. As I said before, I don't chuck away the negatives, I use them on something else. There's no point wasting them. So I grabbed a few of those that I had in my little scrap section of foils, and use them to add more foil onto this, and it worked really well. I love how it came out on the red. The crissy one, I'm just going to rewarm the powder again, and this one I'm going to use the blush foil. So just the same again, reheat it. You want to put the foil onto the powder, and really burnish it down really quite well. At first I was a little bit scared that I would squash the pattern underneath, because obviously that bonding powder is warm when you're doing this, but I didn't have any issues with that at all. And you can see that one, actually the foil transferred really well on that, so I was really happy with that. I did half of it first and then the other half, and by now I am a little bit more brave with my burnishing, and leaving it a little bit longer to cool down as well. I think that's definitely the key. If you pull the foil off while the powder's still warm, it's not going to have gripped onto it properly. Here I am going to try using a stencil. I just put the stencil, it's the Mega Bloom from Altany, one of my all-time favourite stencils, very, very heavily used. I put that down on top of some sort of turquoisey teal cardstock that I had in my stash, and I am just going to grab the ultra slow drying ink pad and just press that down over the stencil. Make sure that I am doing it evenly and getting a proper coverage over the whole of the image. You don't want to press too hard, especially if you've got a very juicy ink pad, because the ink could sort of squish underneath, especially these. It's quite a fine stencil really. And then when I peel it up, because it's a coloured cardstock, you can see a lot better that the ink is over all of it. Adding the bonding powder just as before. It really is very, very fine. I find you do need to be careful because it is more prone to flying away because it is so fine. Like, you really don't want to sneeze. You really, really don't want to sneeze while you're doing this. Again, because it's a coloured cardstock, you can really see really easily when the powder is melted, so I like that. I decided to go for the teal foil on a more greeny teal cardstock, because I just thought that could look really pretty. I melted it all, gave it a little bit more of a blast all over just to make sure that it was all still warm, and you can sort of see there where I'm pressing it down. I'm not wanting to touch it for too long because it is hot, so you do need to be careful. Please don't burn yourselves. Use a foam folder or whatever to burnish it rather than your very sensitive fingertips. So when I peeled it back, I was quite happy with the coverage, but again, not 100%, so I just went through the process again, and I genuinely found no issues at all in doing that, and keep reheating it and adding more foil. So yeah, that's definitely a technique that is worth trying. As I said before, you are going to get a more distressed look doing it this way, but I kind of like that. And there's no other way that I could get that beautiful flower that I love so much foiled. So now I'm just going to show you a few of the different backgrounds that I made. It was quite a mammoth sitting, so I've cut out some of the ones that I made, but I've got in every technique that I used. So yeah, you can see, I mean, I love it when the light hits that foil. Oh, it's just so beautiful. So beautiful. So I turned a few of the backgrounds into cards in this video, and I had lots of backgrounds left, so I am going to be turning them into cards in another video. I will see you shortly for another video. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay crafty. Bye!